All right, so the other day I talked about how the vestibulocerebellum aids in gaze stabilization and tracking a ball when going to make a catch. So control of the head and eyes while going to make that catch. All right, and I also just mentioned how the visual system isn't fast enough to track a pitch the whole way while you're up to bat. All right, so I'm going to go over the steps of gaze control during hitting in baseball and softball. All right, so to start, when that pitcher releases the ball, you're trying to track that ball with your eyes, right? So that's called foveating your eyes on the ball. All right, and what's called smooth pursuit and the suppression of the vestibulo-ocular reflex are what's taking place during that initial release to try to track that ball. So smooth pursuit is pretty much what it sounds like. Foveating on that ball as it moves across your visual field. So tracking that ball with your eyes while that ball is moving. So that's smooth pursuit. All right, and then the suppression of the vestibular-ocular reflex is, so the vestibular-ocular reflex is if you're focused on a target and you move your head one way, your eyes stay focused on that target. Right, so the suppression of that reflex would allow you to use that smooth pursuit and track this ball as it moves across your visual field with your eyes. So smooth pursuit and the suppression of the vestibulo-ocular reflex are what's happening at that original part of tracking the baseball. All right, but like I said, the visual system isn't fast enough to track it the whole way. All right, so once you lose, once there's an error made and you lose sight of where that ball is, what happens is you have a predictive saccade. So a saccade is a ballistic movement of the head and eyes to where you think that ball is going to end up. And that's where you couple that motor plan for your swing, right? So you're tracking the ball, and then once you lose that ball, you make a predictive saccade to where you think that ball is going to end up. And then you couple that swing and try to be as accurate as possible. So what happens is in the most elite hitters, so the guys in the MLB, they're able to use smooth pursuit and the suppression of the vestibulo-ocular reflex for a longer period of time and utilize that visual information to pick up on some information about the pitch. So that's where you pick up the information on whether it's a fastball, a curveball, or slider. You're trying to pick up the rotation of the ball. And that happens in that smooth pursuit. All right. But once they lose that predictive saccade happens, but those elite hitters are able to use smooth pursuit longer so they can take in more visual information and then delay that predictive saccade. So then they're more accurate and have more information on where that ball is going to end up compared to a lower level hitter who has that predictive saccade earlier and gets less information from that smooth pursuit. So where does the cerebellum play a role in that? Well, at the very beginning, the cerebellum is always learning. So even in smooth pursuit, it knows when there's an error made and when the eyes start, that foveation is off of the ball. So it knows the error of when the eyes stop tracking the ball, and it can learn from that. And then also during that predictive saccade, it learns the timing and the accuracy of whether your predictive saccade was timed correctly and accurate to where you couple that swing. And and the cerebellum learns if you are missing that ball, if you're getting a hit, and it can take in that timing and that accuracy and learn from that. All right, so the better hitters are able to learn from this errors in the smooth pursuit and errors from the predictive saccade to be more accurate and more timely with their swing and be more accurate in actually hitting the baseball.